Brendan, thanks so much for joining us. Like we have in all of these CEO interviews, we've got to talk about the greatest impact we've seen on racing for a long time, and that's COVID, particularly in the case of harness in Queensland. And it's been a massive disruption to you and what was going to be a big winter carnival.
That's right, Adam, and I think it's been a disruptor for everyone. But it's been great to see the industry come together and respond and comply with all of the really strict regulations which were required to keep us continue racing. And that was our biggest concern in Queensland, was ensuring and for harness racing, it's very much condensed to the southeast of the state, the most populous part of the area. But it was amazing to see the industry respond well. Our learnings during the COVID period. We increased the number of races because of the limitations on field sizes. We decreased the number of runners we would allow per race to allow good distancing at Albion Park, Redcliffe and Marburg. And we also saw some new records. It was amazing. We've had our first race meeting to top $5 million in wagering turnover. Unfortunately, our brand new shiny thing, the Constellations and the Rising Sun, were cancelled, but we still got through with a lower cost carnival and giving a chance for participants to win some black tie.
And I think what you did really successfully at the time as well is say, we're going to hold something for our people now, but we're also going to pocket a little bit of it and really bolster that summer carnival in December.
Yeah, well, I think we were left in, particularly with thoroughbreds, but also with harness and greyhounds. Our carnivals are May and June, right in the peak of COVID lockdown. And our clubs make all their money in that time of the year. And we needed to support our clubs through what was a really challenging period. And fortunately, we elected to push things like our great race, like the Blacks Are Fake, back to a stellar summer carnival. And with racing agreeing that this calendar year becomes the new season, the new carnival in late November through to Christmas is really exciting with the program that's in play.
Yeah, it'll be tremendous to have the Blacks Are Fake. Needless to say, and we'll touch on this a little bit later, there's so much excitement around the stars of harness racing at the moment, and you having that race in December has actually probably proved a little bit fortuitous as far as getting some of them up your way.
Well, hopefully we do lure a few of them up to the Sunshine State, a bit warmer then than it is in winter. But with the Be Good Johnny Sprint, the Queensland Cup, into the Grand Circuit event, the big Blacks Are Fake, it's a great pattern there for the stars to come, and hopefully they come chasing some of those Queensland dollars. But we'd like to see the Queenslanders be competitive as well, Adam.
The big buzzword in racing, no matter what code it is innovation. And I think it's fair to say that Queensland in the harness space has been lauded for its innovation. Things like trot rods, driver cam. We've seen the interviews, remote interviews done with drivers on the track. And that's only touching on a few things. We've even seen experiments with dedicated driver colours and the like. And let's even talk about Q-bred as well as far as innovation goes. You must be proud of the harness team and the way they've been so fluid and also probably looked outside of the bubble.
Yeah, it's been one for me, Adam, in my brief tenure with Racing Queensland, just over 2 years, was how do we double down around innovation? How do we recreate our sport and make it more attractive to new audiences? How can we package it up differently? And your example of trot rods was one that I was really keen. And our harness team, led by David Brick and Adam Wallish, have done a great job in that. Our broadcast partner bringing everything from on-screen timing right through to driver cam, talking to drivers during races. It was really engaging watching. I mean, suffice to say, it was also good punting, and it was all of that. And to see the showcase on Sky Racing 2 of that Trot Rods final night, it'll be back bigger and better next year, and we've got some new innovations we'll be launching within that. Queensland breeding is the other one you touched on, Q-bred. To really build a sustainable model, we're really keen to double down. So this last financial year, Q-bred topped more than $2.6 million. We're aiming to take that higher. We see reinvestment and stimulating the breeding ecosystem is an important part of growing not just the industry, but growing opportunities, whether it's in employment, it's in investment, it's more the sustainable areas. It's been delighted to be part of that innovation.
One of the big talking points and one of the frustrations out of COVID is no Inter-Dominion this year. but something which has been continually talked about, and now we'll go straight to the source to find out. You guys have officially put your hands up to be part of the Inter-Dominion cycle again going ahead?
Absolutely. In my previous life, as you know, with Sky Channel, I was actually at the last Inter-Dominion in Queensland, and it was really sad to say it wasn't in the last decade, it was in the decade before. And for mine, it was keen to say, how do we rejoin racing's ultimate event? And to be participating, we've submitted our business plan, and it's under consideration now with Harness Racing New South Wales, Vic and New Zealand, and we'd love to get back into the rotation. We see our pacing is up there with the very best in our Inter-Dominion, whether it's at the current home of Brisbane Harness at Albion Park or our new Metropolitan home, but we're keen to play a role in iconic racing events for Harness.
Let's touch on that home. Is there any update on Albion Park, where a new home may be? Any ballpark of what time frame we're working on there?
We're working very closely with the Albion Park Harness Club, our number one metropolitan club, to find a new home for harness racing. We're in a very, if you like, it's been a very detailed process. We're down to the final couple of potential sites. And once we're in a position to announce where the future home will be, we will. Naturally, then there is a negotiation to buy the block of land. Then there is the development and design, and it's a great chance to recreate a stunning home for harness racing. Then there's the construction phase. So it's going to take a few years to realise that, but working closely with the club to find that. And I'm really keen. The vision is from my perspective, is to create something that really heroes the tropical nature of southeast Queensland. It's not far out of Brisbane's CBD, so it's an easy drive. And it will become the future home for Metropolitan Harness in the Sunshine State.
Brendan, being a little cheeky, it'd be a lovely way to launch it with an Inter-Dominion, wouldn't it?
That would be perfect, Adam. That would be just perfect.
All right, now I'm going to put the acid on you because you're not biased. The last couple of weeks we've had John Dummersney say, of course he would, that King of Swing, the New South Wales horse, is the best in Australia. Last week we had Dale Brown saying, well, of course, Ride High is the best horse in Australia. No doubt you and the harness team, you chat about it, you keep an eye on it. Who do you think is the best pacer right now in Aussie?
Well, we've got some good pacers in Queensland. I'm really proud of the top-end brigade we've got in the Sunshine State. But, wow, what rivalry between those two. How could a Queenslander sidle up alongside and be a fan of a New South Wales favourite? Come on. So, for me, in looking at those, I'd have to go with Ride High.
Good on you, Brendan. Thanks very much for the update. Plenty happening up in Queensland. I think on behalf of the entire harness industry, a pat on the back to you and the harness team for the innovation you're showing. Yes, it's a buzzword, but, gee, it's important to the future of the sport. Thanks again for your time.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. Really appreciate the opportunity.